putting out a budget.
Right. Is there any good stuff in there for the middle class?
There will be more money for things like Head Start. In general, more spending for federal programs that help the poor and middle class. And the budget, of course, is not something that sails through Congress and becomes law.
Right.
But it's a statement of priorities. And President Obama in this budget has already announced he's not going to cut Social Security. He's going to do things that his liberal allies will like and that Democrats in Congress will like, and that would benefit middle-class people. And this will be contrasted with a budget coming out from Paul Ryan, Republican chairman of the House Budget Committee and Ayn Rand acolyte.
I did see, is this the headline in Huffington Post, budget cuts mean 70,000 fewer housing vouchers for the poor?
These are the budget cuts we've already got. So Paul Ryan will be talking about fresh new budget cuts when his proposal comes out. But yeah, this is a story I did about how sequestration, remember sequestration?
Yeah, right.
And remember how in the fall they did a new budget that undid sequestration? Well, not entirely.
I was going to say just partially undid.
Partially.
Yeah.
And so one area where the sequester has continued to fester is Section 8 housing vouchers, which are vouchers that are given to poor people with kids so that they can rent private apartments.
It's a supplemental thing, isn't it, as I recall?
It helps you pay. If you can find an apartment and the voucher covers the whole cost, fine, but you can also use your own money to get something more expensive. 2 million households in America rely on these vouchers, and as of December, 70,000 fewer were receiving them than had been prior to sequestration. So I met some people in Virginia, in Alexandria, who, one woman, her place was filled with rodents. And she had become an expert on every kind of mousetrap. The decon kind, the sticky kind, the kind that just kills them by smashing them, the kind that spins them around and you just throw it out. So she had to move, and when she moved,
shotgun.
When she moved, she discovered that her voucher had shrunk. Because she was moving, she was getting a smaller amount, and she wound up being able to afford fewer bedrooms. So instead of living in a 3-bedroom with her 3 kids, she's now in a 2-bedroom. So the kids are on top of each other. She's got one of her youngsters is a 5-year-old boy. The other 2 are girls. So it's real awkward. The kids got questions. But that's the situation. Thanks to sequestration, some people aren't getting help at all. Others who are still getting help are piling on top of each other. And that's just the new reality of a budget-constrained
But
government.
these are existing, but cuts in the existing system, right? These are not new cuts that are coming from Paul Ryan. Right? No. So what does Ryan have in mind, and when does he release his budget?
Ryan has not released it yet, but yesterday he put out this really long 200-page report that actually, in a somewhat measured and balanced way, just detailed the history of and the way all our different spending programs work. And I say balanced because his previous efforts, it'll describe the program and just say it's bad, basically. But this document, it cited a lot of liberal sources like the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities that acknowledged some of the controversies over how we measure poverty in this country. He does say, essentially, that we have a poverty trap, which is that when you qualify for benefits that help you pay for food, shelter, and other things. When you work and you lose eligibility for those, that is essentially a marginal tax. And by calling it a trap, I think some people would say that implies poor people are too stupid to know what's best for them. But anyway, he doesn't say what he's going to cut in this long document, and he doesn't. There aren't boogeymen in there like the food stamp surfer, for instance.
Yeah, right.
Who is the hero of Eric Cantor's for making food stamps look totally terrible. So it was not a totally ideological thing, but his cuts will come out within the next week, and those, if it's anything like what he's done before, could be really severe cuts. I wonder if he is trying to pivot from being perceived as so ideological to someone who's taking a more balanced approach to these things.
Well, if these are severe cuts, it's not a balanced approach.
Well, I'm just saying, based on the tenor of this thing that came out yesterday, I wonder if he's not going to cut as deep in his proposals.
And you haven't seen the cuts yet.
Right.
But the point you made, which I think is very important, is that these cuts that the House Republicans under Ryan are definitely going to try to get come on top of the sequester, which really is still in place. So these draconian cuts that came about because they couldn't agree on the plan to balance the grand plan and everything, right? Which were somewhat modified last December, but they're still there, and they're still pretty severe cuts. And on top of that, they want to cut even more.
So, the sequester was literally just cuts, 5% cut to just everything.
Right.
But what Paul Ryan is likely to propose will be not simply cuts, but transformative reforms, things that completely change the way these programs work. For instance, he had proposed in the past turning Medicare into a coupon that senior citizens can use to try to buy private insurance.
A voucher.
A coupon, a voucher, whatever you want to call it. Completely different program from the way Medicare works now. Or he'll say, we got to take food stamps and turn it from something that you qualify for by being poor into just a fixed sum of money we give to states, and it's up to them what they do with it. And inevitably that would mean conservative states give way less money to people who are poor and require people to work even when there's nothing to do because there aren't enough jobs in this country. So effectively cutting it through completely changing it.
Yeah. Arthur Delaney with us here from Huffington Post. I have to congratulate you. You have coined a phrase that I will steal that I never heard anybody use before, and that is that the sequester continues to fester.
That's a Huffington Post hobby. We always say sequester fester.
Is that right?
Because it keeps festering.